sometimes when we're given advice, we might think, oh, the person who's giving me the advice doesn't like me. That's why he or she's criticizing what I'm doing. Or maybe it's because I'm not a good person. That's why I'm being advised. And I thought of a way that might help us to overcome or get out of that attitude or feeling. And it's basically that we should see advice as like money. When someone gives you money to spend, do you think that the person is giving you the money because they don't like you? No, you'd think the opposite. They want you to develop yourself. They want you to set up a business or generally use it to improve your financial life. And advice kind of does the same thing. Good advice given from a credible source can help you develop your character or your general life, and something that will help you develop should be seen as something positive and not as something negative. And if you read the book of Proverbs, you'll see we were constantly advised to listen to wisdom, listen to understanding, listen to advice, because they develop us. In Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20, he said, "Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end." If you also read Proverbs chapter 27, verse 9, he said, "Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart. So doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel." And if you read Exodus chapter 18, verses 13 to 26, you'll see that Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, gave Moses a really good advice. He observed the way Moses was judging the people, and he was like, rather than you just being the only judge, create a court system kind of, where you've got a lower court, a superior court, and an appellate court, and then a supreme court. That's not what he actually said, but that was kind of the idea. And if you read verse 24, you can see that Moses listened to his father-in-law and implemented the advice. And there are systems like that across the world that are based on that advice that Jethro had given. But bad advice, on the other hand, is like someone who wants to scam you. They are pretending to want to help you by giving you advice, but in reality, they're trying to bring you down. They're trying to destroy you. If you read 2 Samuel chapter 13, you can see that Jonadab advised his so-called friend Amnon to make sure that Absalom's sister Tamar was in a room quietly, secretly with him, so that he could do whatever he wanted with her. And at the end of the day, because Tamar was resistant, Amnon ended up raping her, and then Absalom ended up killing him, and a lot of complicated things happened because Amnon listened to bad advice. If you also read 1 Kings chapter 12, verses 1 to 19, you can see that King Rehoboam rejected the advice that the elders who had lived with Solomon gave him, and instead listened to the bad advice that his fellow men, who he thought understood the situation better, had given him. And at the end of the day, his kingdom was split. He got 2 tribes, and then Jeroboam got 10, and a lot of other things happened. So, as a result, we should generally try to see advice as a positive thing that will help us. The psalmist in Psalm 141 verse 5 certainly saw it as a positive thing. Quoting the New King James Version, he said, "Let the righteous strike me, it shall be a kindness, and let him rebuke me, it shall be as excellent oil. Let my head not refuse it. But still my prayer is against the deeds of the wicked." And if you read Psalm 119 verse 14 and verse 162, you can see that the psalmist rejoiced in the word of God because there is advice that we can extract to improve our own lives. In verse 14, he said, "I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies, as much as in all riches." And in verse 162, he said, "I rejoice in thy word, as one that findeth great spoil." So, if you enjoyed this video, then you can give it a like, and if you want to be notified when we come back with new videos just like this, then you can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and God bless you.